Hi, I'm Pam from AccuQuilt. Do you remember when you were a kid and you learned to paint by numbers? 1 was red, 2 was blue, and so forth. Do you remember how easy it was to create beautiful pictures using that paint by number system? Well, AccuQuilt has come up with a new system in order to teach you to sew by numbers. Let me introduce you to the new Go Qube. The Go Qube is available to make a 6-inch, 8-inch, 9-inch, or 12-inch block. This particular cube will make an 8-inch block set. Let me show you what's inside. First, you will find that each cube has 8 dies. Each die is numbered 1 through 8, and each has its own little handy-dandy storage pocket. Each die also comes with its own pattern, so you can make additional patterns to the 72 block mix and match set. Now today we're going to make this particular quilt behind us. We'd like to thank Robert Kaufman for his donation of fabric. And in order to make this particular 8-inch square, we're going to need dies number 2, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Now watch this. Look how easy this goes back into its storage case. Also located in the cube, you will find a training DVD, a cutting mat, and additional pattern books so that you can make even more patterns using our cube block. And then look how easy everything fits back into its storage unit. Now for additional patterns, I know as if 72 blocks weren't enough, you can use Eleanor Burns' new book, Go Sampler. We'd like to thank Eleanor Burns, queen of all quilting, for coming up with this fabulous book on how to use our Go Qube and add even more patterns to your system. Now that I've introduced you to the cube, let me gather all of the materials we need in order to make this beautiful quilt today. In order to make the 8-inch block for our Diamond Star quilt, I've gathered together today my Go fabric cutter. Now, if you have a Go Baby, you can use that, or even our Go Big machine. You can use that as well. Today, I'm just using our Go machine, and obviously a sewing machine. Now, before I begin any project, before I begin to sew it, I cut all of the pieces and I lay them out in the block so that I'm able to see where they fit on the block. And as I sew them together, then it's easy to know where they belong in the block piece. Now you notice I've missed some of our half square triangles here in our flying geese. So that's what I'm going to show you how to cut today. So I have my die number 2, which is our half square triangles. And I have some of this beautiful Robert Kaufman fabric that I'm going to use to cut those half square triangles. So the most important thing you need to know about using our Go fabric cutting system is that the lengthwise grain of the fabric needs to travel back and forth through your Go fabric cutter. Now, if this came off a bolt, I would know that the lengthwise grain was here on the salvage edge, and I could fold it, and that lengthwise grain would go back and forth through the machine. But since this is a scrap piece that I'm using to finish up this square, I need to find the lengthwise grain. There's a super easy way to do this. Now listen. Hear kind of that wonky sound and how much give that the fabric has? When I pull it like that, that's not the lengthwise grain. Listen now. Hear that tight sound? There's not much give. That's the lengthwise grain. That's what needs to travel through the machine. So now I'm just going to take my fabric and just right over the edge of the shape, because then I won't have very much waste, maybe 1/4 of an inch or so. I'm going to take and fan fold our fabric. I can get up to 6 layers at a time of this good cotton quality fabric. Now I'm going to place the cutting mat on top of the die. Don't worry about this tail, it's going to go through the machine just fine. Press it up to the machine and turn the handle. Then I'm going to slide that mat right off of that die, pull away our scraps, and ta-da, perfect half square triangles. Now you notice something really clever about this particular half square triangle. It doesn't have any dog ears. That's because when you cut a half square triangle using our Go fabric cutting system, the dog ears are automatically cut off. So you know that this is your perfect 1/4 inch seam. So I'm going to put these half square triangles right here in our block. And look, it's all ready to be sewn together. So now I'm going to show you how easy it is to sew these pieces together. So I'm going to take this half square triangle and put it on here on our other triangle. I'm going to pin it down together. I really like to use pins. It keeps that fabric sturdy as it goes through the sewing machine. And since I don't have any dog ears, I know right where the 1/4 inch seam is. Sew that 1/4 inch seam. Take out the pins, and ta-da! Look how great that looks and how easy it was to match up the sides. I've already sewn together the 3 rows in order to make our diamond star quilt, so let me show you how it looks. So here's the first one, here's the second row, and here's that bottom row. Look how perfect and crisp those points are. That's because you've used the lengthwise grain as you've cut the fabric and used our dies to make these perfect points. So let me show you how easy it is to go together. So I'm going to take this top row and put it here in our second row, sorry. I'm going to line up those seams. I like to pin. I find that it works so much easier than trying to manipulate the fabric as you put it through the sewing machine. Alrighty. Now I'm going to come here and sew my 1/4 inch seam. Take out those pins. So now look how easy it came together. Let me get this bottom row, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to line up those seams. Make sure I pin it good. Do it here on the other side for that seam. Now I can just come right in here and make that 1/4 inch seam. Take out those pins. Now I'm just going to take it over here to my iron. You want to make sure you want to press those seams away from that center row. It gives it a nice crisp look. And ta-da! Look how easy that was to make using my 8-inch cube dies. I'm Pam from AccuQuilt, and remember, better cuts make better quilts.